In business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, and the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
Now, you and Dolph, did you ever have a falling out, or did you have a good relationship overall?
Never had a falling out with Dolph. You know, we did a couple transactions years and years ago.
Now that throwback clip with Cat Williams talking about the industry hits harder than ever. And when he said the rapper that's worth 20 million, kind of resonated with Dolph a little bit. The 22 million. Fuck the 22 million. That's what Dolph said. And when Cat told that whole, rundown about how they do these rappers, they'll send some people from your own city to kill you, to take you out, right? And then when you're dead, your stock, your value, your collection of albums goes up and up and up. And the people who benefit off that right there are usually not the rappers, because now they're dead. And this situation seems, real close to what happened to Dolph, in my opinion. And that's why I had to play that clip with Cat Williams, because a lot of people might not have heard, what he had to say about these rappers dying in their own city. Like Cat Williams said, nothing's coincidental. That wasn't a coincidence that they seen Dolph that day. Cornelius even stated that they knew Dolph was in town, you guys. And keep in mind, that was a Wednesday when he was killed at Makita's Cookie Shop. And they knew Dolph was there on that Monday.
It's the week before Thanksgiving. What was going on there?
He was telling us, they got turkey.
Who was he?
Govan, quit. He was telling us that, they had turkey drive. Each artist had a different day where they were doing turkey drive or whatever, and that's our opportunity. We can make some shake then.
So, Govan was telling you about the turkey drive.
Right.
I'm sorry.
He was telling me and Jesse.
Were y'all together when he was telling you?
Right, at his house.
At his house. Did he mention the boundary? Did he mention the money?
Well, we had already knew the prices on majority of their heads, basically. On everybody else doing the turkey drive, we had already knew the prices already.
Including Dolph?
Including Dolph.
Let's go to November the 16th of 2021. What were you and Justin doing that day?
Justin was in the car. And he called me and told me that he had got a call that young Dolph was at a gas station up the street from where we was at. So I ran back to the truck, and I jumped back in the truck. When we got to the gas station, Dolph was gone. So we rode around for a minute, then he dropped me back off at the house. And I laid down that night, and he was like, tomorrow we go back out and see what's up.
So on the 16th, at any point did you think, okay, maybe we have a shot at getting Dolph?
Yeah, because we knew he was in town. We knew Dolph was in the city then, and we knew that tomorrow we were full-fledged then. We know we anything is shape right now.
And at any point did you all have this conversation with Mr. Govan?
Yeah, we were telling him like we really getting close, we getting fed up with playing, we finna get somebody basically. And he was like, y'all do y'all thing. Handle y'all business.
How were they already tracking Dolph? And according to Hernandez Govan, he said something very, very suspicious to me. Now, when Vlad brought up November 15th and Dolph came into Memphis to do that turkey drive, Govan hurried up and said, as he always does, right? And that right there raised my antennas, because it seems as if, right, this was the perfect timing to catch Dolph. This was something calculated to look as if it just happened randomly and nobody was looking for him, but in actuality, they were hunting Dolph down. as the day before. They seen him at that Marathon gas station with that famous video that TMZ put out. I would assume this is where he was at. So this right here tells a lot, you guys, as more facts are coming forward. And as Govan keeps talking, we'll keep listening.
Well, then November 15th, 2021, 2 days before the shooting, young Dolph comes back to Memphis to do a turkey drive.
As he always does.
Right.
According to, the paperwork, it all went down because of this turkey drive that the whole Memphis knew that Dolph was going to be, giving away these turkeys like he had always did. And that's what prompted Govan to say he always does, always comes back to Memphis to do this turkey giveaway. And to me, that says that these conspirators knew that this was the time and opportunity to catch Dolph and the other artists he had under his label to be included in the hit that was out on all of them. And many people were searching for Dolph and these artists, trying to get a payday, this bounty that was on each one of them heads. And they had different prices as they, alleged. And we seen a list. I don't know if that's official or not, but I'm thinking that's from a piece of paperwork out that 1,000-page discovery that they say they have. Being that, now he's saying he knows Big Jook. They grew up together. It's kind of like a kin thing with them. But for some reason, he didn't know Yo Gotti, Jook's brother, after over 20-some years. That's suspicious. And even though, this person that he was close to was the, I guess, boyfriend or husband or, fiance of Gotti and Jook's mother, how did you not meet Gotti at all? That's kind of crazy that Govan would put that out there like that, because it just makes no sense. But anyway, I digress. Now, you have Govan saying that this is how he knew Jook, okay? Didn't know Gotti. So hold on right quick. You mean to tell me that his lawyer, Manny Aurora, would have stated to the jury that, his client, Govan, knew Big Jook on a personal level, and they were kind of like, kin folks through marriage, in-laws, and things of that nature? I wonder how that verdict would have turned out then. But see, all this stuff is not coming out until now, with Govan doing these interviews. He's stating he's going on No Jumper next, over there with Adam 12, police. Yikes. Wowzers. And many people are saying, yeah, he's definitely, talking and, over-talking the situation, and he just might Keefy D himself. Wowzers, you guys.
Okay, so leading up to the incident, you and Big Jook had a relationship.
Yes. He was an associate of mine. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you guys are like almost cousins?
Yeah. His mom married someone years ago. Was in a relationship with someone years ago that I'm very close to.
Okay, and Big Jook is the brother of Yo Gotti.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's your relationship with Yo Gotti?
I don't have a relationship with him. I never met him, never did any business with him whatsoever.
Had all this been said in Govan's trial, the jury might have felt different about the verdict.
You shot straight, but you shot late. High 11. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm going to give you the rundown.
Say, man, hey, man, it's OG Jucario, and I'm back at you with another one. And Hernandez Govan, the alleged accused mastermind in the young Dolph murder, he was recently acquitted on both of those murder charges. And since he's a free man, Hernandez Govan says he's going on a tour, and he's going to be doing a lot of interviews. And he started out hitting the ground running right after he left out that courtroom, because he told the press there that he was going to be leaving Memphis.
We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. State of Tennessee versus Hernandez Govan, count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant, Hernandez Govan, not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ma'am?
Court's in session.
Ma'am? Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Yes. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to thank you for your service this week. You've done exactly what the court asked you to do, which was to sit, listen to all the proof, and come to a decision. You are excused.
Jury is excused. Thank you.
Govan saying he knew his innocence would prevail.
It's a huge weight, you know. I was fighting more so for my son. I have an autistic son, so that's what my fight was mainly for.
You heard your attorney say if you're black and poor in Memphis, this is what happens. What would be your words of advice?
Leave Memphis,
Do you plan on leaving Memphis, sir?
of course. It's hard to explain the feeling of knowing you got your life back, and it's one of the best feelings I ever experienced, and I'm just happy to be free.
And we got somebody catching Govan, it looks like at an airport somewhere. I don't know if he was coming or going, right, to LA to go do that interview with Vlad. Somebody caught him checking out at the cash register, and he has the same, looks like the same outfit on that he had on the Vlad TV interview, right? So, you know, you have Hernandez Govan, a guy who was facing life, right, for the conspiracy and the first-degree murder of Dolph. And he was acquitted. And now you have a situation where he's going around and he's doing his interviews. And many people are saying he might be the next Keefe D, right? Because he's basically giving us more information, unheard of information that was not in his trial. And now he's speaking freely, meaning say that, you know, he did sign a proffer agreement that would, you know, exhaust him of any wrongdoing or any charges being brought against him. So whatever he told, right, took that proffer agreement and he told everything he knew and they sealed it, right? Sealed those files probably for a couple of years. And maybe by then people will forget about this whole ordeal and life goes on, right? So, you know, Govan is breaking down his interview on how everything, you know, started from with the shooters, Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson, a.k.a. Straight Drop, who wanted a record deal bad with CMG. And in the interview with Vlad, we can hear that he's asking Govan the hard questions, and Govan's sitting up there answering these questions. And will this stuff incriminate him later on? Who knows? We'll have to see. But according to Govan, this is his story, and this is how he remembers the chain of events. So he's saying that he knew Jook, but he's claiming that he didn't know Jook's little brother Gotti, right? Even though, you know, he had been knowing Jook over 20-something years. But he claims he never met Yo Gotti, which is Jook's brother. See, all that right there just doesn't sound right, you guys. Because at the end of the day, I mean, how is that possible that you always avoided running into Yo Gotti, right? But you always, you know, had conversations and kicked it with Jook, right? His big brother. So all that right there, you know, was very questionable and very suspicious. That's suspicious. Well, if you want to take Govan's word for it, well, he said he didn't know Gotti. You know, never had no dealings with Gotti, only Jook. Hold up, wait a minute. What is this right here, you guys? Govan, is that a lookalike you? Is this a lookalike doppelganger Orange Mound Quet driving this vehicle in this video, this Play With Your Bitch video by Dolph? And, you know, this is very, very suspicious that, you know, it kind of resembles Orange Mound Quet. Govan, is this, you know, supposed to be you? Was Dolph trying to also send you a message because he knew that you ran with Jook? like you claim you had been knowing Jook over 20-some years, and, you know, y'all always gambled and was hanging out together, right? So could this be the Lookalike Govan in this video? This play with your bitch video where Dolph had all kind of lookalikes replicating the people he said was hating and the people he said that he had a problem with. But hold on, Govan just said he didn't have problems with Dolph. So allegedly, hypothetically speaking, if this replica, right, if this is a replica Govan in this video that Dolph put out, that would say a lot about how Dolph felt about Quet, right? Who Orange Mountain Quet says he knows Dolph because they did business.
I appreciate it, man. You know, my brother ain't been fucking with me, nigga fucked up, man. I appreciate you. Shit, it sounds good, man.
Now, what about young Dolph?
Yeah, I know Dolph. I knew Dolph personally. Yes, sir. We did business years ago before he actually blew up. He was rapping at the time, but he hadn't blown up yet. Yeah, I knew Dolph personally. He was a good dude.
Okay, and you also had a relationship with Daddy O, who's the owner of Paper Out Records.
Correct. Yes, sir.
What's that relationship about?
Just the same. I met Daddy O from, I got a brother named Ziploc from South Memphis. And we used to just sell petty marijuana years ago, in and out of hotel rooms when we were younger, just doing our thing, just trying to hustle.
Now, from the looks of things, Govan, Quet, Orange Mountain Quet seem to know everybody, right? You know Daddy O, he's the other business partner of Dolph, owns PRE, Paper Route Empire. And Daddy O, as we know, is old school, OG, right? Dolph even said that he taught him the game. And him and Daddy O used to freestyle and go back and forth rapping. And it was just a hobby. But Dolph took it a little bit more serious, and Daddy O backed him, got behind him. That's when Dolph blew up. Because Quet said he knew Dolph before, you know, he blew up with the rapping. So obviously they went way back. Quet saying that they never fell out, him and Dolph, right? It was all good. So at the end of the day, why does Dolph have a doppelganger, right? Lookalike in his video play with your bitch that looks like Quet, looks like Govan a little bit. In my opinion, it does. He's riding with Jook. And as we know, the history that Quet said him and Jook have. Now, I seen where Govan is going around and he's looking at the content. He's responding to the content that people are making about him. And Govan, if you see this video right here, you know, answer me this. When you first seen this play with your bitch video by Dolph, did you think this guy that was driving this vehicle that Jook got out of to go holler at Dolph in the video, the lookalike Jook, did you think this is a lookalike you? Because I sure believe that this is what Dolph was trying to portray. Let me know in the comment section, Govan. And I just happened to notice that, you know, in this video, play with your bitch, this guy right here looks strikingly similar to you, Quet. Yikes.
Now, you and Dolph, did you ever have a falling out, or did you have a good relationship overall?
Never had a falling out with Dolph. You know, we did a couple transactions years and years ago. We never had a reason to fall out. I'm not a rapper, you know. Dolph was just, this one he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And at the beginning of his music career. And so, you know, anytime we met up and did business, it was all good. Never had an issue.
Now that's interesting, Govan. You said you didn't have beef with Dolph because you're not a rapper. Well, last time I checked, homie, you don't have to be a rapper to have beef with a rapper. And maybe if Dolph did put that lookalike in that video that was supposed to resemble you, that could be very well a good reason to have a beef with somebody. And you say you don't rap, but I seen some bars on your page, Govan. Back in May of 2021, you made a post on your Facebook that said he better play with his bitch. He think he ghost off power? I'ma grant him his wish. Now, that's bars. Yikes. Wowzers. And by you starting off those bars with he better play with his bitch, it lets me know right there you were tuned in to that Dolph, man. Even though you might not had, a problem with Dolph, like you said, beef with Dolph. But when you summed everything up, you said that egos got in the way. And basically, Dolph's ego, allegedly, possibly, got him killed.
Well, 2021, a few months prior to the actual shooting, you were actually working with Straight Drop to try to sign him to CMG.
I was.
Hold up now, Quick. You said that you didn't know Gotti. So how were you going to get Straight Drop, a record deal with CMG, which is Yo Gotti's label? I don't really think Jook had too much to do with the ownership of the label, being that Jook was going out being like an A&R, recruiting the talent, scouting talent, right? Artist development to, eventually get on the label. Like you claim that you and Jook were doing with Straight Drop, right? Now, by you emphasizing that you did not know Gotti, never had met him, never did business with him, that leads people to think, well, how were you going to get Straight Drop a CMG record deal just through Big Jook? Because Jook couldn't sign that by himself. He couldn't oversee that deal by himself without Gotti. So had the deal went through, but you said it didn't in the end because of the music, right? And we all know the music, as Cornelius Smith used music when he inboxed Jook about that money that he was owed. So as we see, the music was the alleged keyword, right? And that's just my opinion. Now, when Stan G asked you, your relationship with CMG a year before the trial, you said you couldn't talk about that. And we already knew then when you gave that answer that CMG was definitely part of that trial that you had coming up.
I'm here, man. Already. You understand? What's your relationship with CMG? Man, I ain't got no comment on this shit. I feel I can't. I still got an open case, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a lot of shit that I can't speak on. I'll respect you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're from the streets, you know what I'm saying? You understand that. I'm sure. Hopefully, you can respect it too.
But now, since you have beaten this trial, Govan, you're free on all charges. So now, we're looking back at what was said and what was done.
And some interactions happened at your house. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I was basically trying to put the deal together for Straight Drop. So, when Justin came around, Justin was talented, and we didn't want to miss out on this opportunity. My whole goal was to try to get out the streets and stop, hustling, especially at the age I'm at.
And now this news is out that this artist you're trying to sign to CMG is a suspect in the Young Dolph murder. So you knew about 6-7 years.
Yeah, correct. Yes, sir.
Another suspect, 32-year-old Cornelius Smith, was listed as a suspect as well. This is now two guys that were at your house a couple months prior.
Yeah.
So when you heard that these two guys that you personally know are suspects in the murder of one of the biggest rappers ever in Memphis.
Everyone in Memphis, Tennessee knew about the CMG paper route beef. So after I, made the introduction, the music introduction or whatever, I got out the way. I was still doing what I do in the neighborhood, on the street, as far as selling my marijuana and whatever, my sports betting, whatever it is that I do. So I couldn't babysit the music situation. When I made the music introduction, I got out the way.
Now, you done fucked up, huh, Quick? You know that, don't you? No, you done fucked up. Now, when Glad first asked you about the CMG and straight drop deal that you were supposed to have been putting together with Big Jook, you said that you were trying to get out the streets. You were trying to stop hustling. And then you felt like, you and your brother had skipped out on investing in a up-and-coming Memphis rapper that blew up back then. Moneybagg Yo, right? Y'all skipped out on that. And look how rich this man is now. Y'all could have got in on that quick. And you didn't want to skip out on the next big rapper who you thought was straight drop. So you invested. And you got others to invest, right? Other big names and big players in the game that you knew that, just might invest in your dreams. And it seems that people did, from some reports. Now, when Glad asked you, how did you feel about these two guys who were at your house months prior to the murder? Cornelius Smith, who allegedly bought pills from you, and Justin Johnson, who was there along with Jook for a music meeting that day, right? And now all of a sudden, they're wanted for murder, Cornelius and Straight Drop was. And you claim that, you knew about Straight Drop being wanted for this murder of Dolph the same day that he killed Dolph. Everybody knew is what you were saying. Now, you turn around and say that everybody knew about the paper route and CMG beef in Memphis. And once you made the music introduction, you got out the way. You went right back to hustling and back to, selling your pills and doing your street thing again. But you just told us earlier that you was trying to get out of the streets, Hernandez. You told us earlier you was trying to stop hustling. But now that these two shooters who used to hang around you every day, now accused of killing Dolph, on the run, right? They're suspects. Now you don't want nothing to do with the rap industry, right? What happened to all the music, marketing and promotion, and, talks of the music industry that you and Jook had going on at this meeting with Straight Drop there? All that just went out the window because you said that you didn't want to hustle anymore. So make it make sense.
Okay, so Jook is at your house. Is Straight Drop at your house also?
Correct.
Okay, and you guys are talking about potentially a deal with CMG.
Yes.
Okay. But then at one point, Cornelius Smith showed up at the house as well.
Correct. Yeah, Cornelius Smith. I met Cornelius Smith through an associate of mine named Bobby Carter.
Now, everybody's been wondering. I've been seeing people ask, who is Bobby Carter? Right? Who is Bobby Carter? Well, his name kept coming up in the Hernandez Govan young Dolph murder trial. And as you heard Hernandez Govan say, okay, Bobby Carter was a friend of his. Stayed on the same street, Bradley. Stayed across the street from each other, right? A couple of houses down, but still across the street from each other, right? And as we came to find out, the talks online are that Bobby Carter was killed the next day after the white Mercedes was found on November 20th, 2021. So that means Bobby Carter was killed on the 21st of 2021, according to reports and people talking on Facebook, who obviously, allegedly knew Bobby. And it's important to note, don't forget that Bradley Street, where Bobby Carter and Hernandez Govan stayed across the street from each other, is the same street that, they found the white Mercedes on at that house, you guys, where Straight Drop filmed those music videos, that bando, okay? Yeah. So, why was Bobby killed, you guys? And as I was reading from what his brother was saying on Facebook, this could have been possibly a triple cross. Bobby got crossed up in this whole thing, and it was more talks of an individual who went missing, who was around Bobby. But, as I get more information on this whole story, I shall bring it to you. But, yeah, people was wondering who Bobby Carter was. And Bobby Carter was said to also have been involved in the Paper Route Woo hit, that went terribly wrong. Quit was alleged to have gave the gun to Cornelius, he said that Quit provided him a gun and told him that Paper Route Wu was at home. And Quit was trying to get up under Paper Route Wu's mother to, keep the drop on the PRE boys. Wowzers. Yikes. And this right here was very, very nefarious and diabolical, if that's true. But anyway, nevertheless, Cornelius Smith came over to Govan's house while Jook and Straight Drop was there for this music meeting. And when, Cornelius tells the story, it's several times he went over there and Jook was there. Specifically a time when Straight Drop was not there. It was just Jook and Quit and Lil C is what he said Govan called him. He said, hey, man, this Lil C, this the one that shot at Wu for us the other day. Tried to take Wu out for us for that 50 ball because Wu had 50,000 on his head. Right? So that was a whole different another instance where, the hit was talked about, alleged to have been spoken about during that time when Straight Drop wasn't even there. So now what Quit tells us is something totally different from what we heard in the trial. Check this out.
So on this particular night when we were having the music meeting, it was a knock at the door. And I went to the door and it was Cornelius. And I was under the impression that he just wanted some X bills or whatever like he normally did. So I told him to come back later. I was trying to get a deal signed for Drop. And he was like, no, it's important. So I stepped outside and that's when he mentioned to me, he was like, man, they ain't trying to do nothing about Dolph trying to kill Gotti. So at that point, I never heard of that incident. I heard of it, if you reverse it, I done heard of it that way, the attempted hits on Dolph, but at that point, I hadn't heard anything about someone trying to do anything to Gotti. Mm-hmm. And I told him that wasn't my business and I wasn't finna go back in and mention something to Jook that he hadn't said anything to me about. And so I just left it at that. Mm-hmm. And went back in and finished discussing the music and the actual deal. And that was that on that.
Okay, but that deal didn't actually come together.
It did.
Now, according to Govan, Cornelius came by his house that night during this music meeting, right? Music meeting. And he didn't say he let Cornelius in. He didn't say that Cornelius seen Jook or seen Straight Drop. He didn't say that. He made it seem as if Cornelius came by the house and he stepped outside with Cornelius instead of letting him in. And that's when Cornelius told Govan, hey, what y'all gonna do about Dolph and them putting the hit out on Gotti, trying to kill Gotti? Yeah, that's what Cornelius allegedly told Govan. Now, this is our first time hearing this. Cornelius has testified in 2 different trials, Straight Drop trial and Govan's trial. Neither one time did we hear this narrative in either trial. So why is Govan putting this out there now? Is this, real information? Or is this misinformation to make it seem as if, Dolph was the aggressor in some kind of way? And why wasn't this documented? Right? Why come nobody else was talking about this alleged hit that Dolph and PRE had on Gotti? Well, maybe because it wasn't true, you guys. Yikes. Ain't that a bitch? So at this point, why would Cornelius try to basically do a job for free? This is what I'm getting from Govan saying that Cornelius was inquiring about what they were going to do about Dolph and the PRE crew, putting the hit out on Gotti. And at the end of the day, we got to know that right there just doesn't sound right, because even Govan said that he never heard of that, but he had heard of it in reverse, the other way around. So he admitted that he heard that CMG was the one that was always putting hits on Dolph, shooting at Dolph, popping at Dolph. So that right there tells us everything we need to know. So it's mighty suspicious how, people try to run and spin narratives, okay, when all you gotta do is look at the facts. Dolph was the one getting shot at. Dolph's vehicles and sprinters was the one getting shot up. And I came across a story about Keon Wright. This was one of the execs there at CMG, the label. Gotti, right-hand man, they even called each other brothers, right? And he was locked up for doing the shooting at one of those CIAA tournaments there, Carolinas. And check this out. I came across a clip of a security guard for Jeezy, Clem. He was talking about one of the CIAA tournaments one year where Keon Wright was shot himself. Okay, so obviously this had to be the year before Keon Wright did the shooting, because it was 2 shootings that happened at the CIAA with Dolph. One where his bulletproof sprinter was shot up. And then another time where, his vehicle, a bulletproof vehicle, was shot up. So Dolph survived both of those shootings. But this time in the club, we hear that PRE snuck up on CMG in the VIP. They pulled out the bangers and got busy immediately. And that left Keon Wright shot at that CIAA tournament.
But y'all was at some party where Yo Gotti and his people and I guess Dolph and his people.
CIAA, North Carolina, Charlotte.
What that?
That's Charlotte CIAA is a big event.
No, for sure.
So, and the year we was there, that was like in the midst of Dolph just coming out and beefing with Gotti. I remember Dolph and them used to wear the orange PRE ski mask, and we was all in the club. Talking about club dumb. I'm talking about this motherfucker crazy. You got CMG, you got us, you got Tip, and then you got the PRE niggas. So we in the club just chilling, but we know me and my people watch everything. And we know these niggas got beef, so we just know something gonna go down. So next thing you know, we just watching, you just see these orange ski masks just creeping through VIP. Just creeping through VIP. And then shit, they got up to where Gotti and them was, and all we know, we just heard gunshots. And I think they had shot Gotti's brother Keon about on accident, not accident, but they had ended up shooting him. I remember we went to the hospital, and Jeezy went up there to go see him and shit.
Yeah. So that was that incident. Dre that said something about that. Said it was some incident where Jeezy went to see Yo Gotti's boy who got shot, but he wouldn't come see him after he got shot for him.
Yep, that was it right there. Yeah.
Okay. So that was CIAA.
That was that. He talking about CIAA.
And he would return the next year, right, to wreak havoc on the PRE affiliates that allegedly shot him the year before. And this time, the following year, when Keon will try to get some get back on PRE and Dolph for shooting him at that club, that's when he was caught with an assault rifle that he just threw in the grass, you guys, when he gave up and surrendered to the cops. Keon's been locked up for years now behind that shooting of that Sprinter van that luckily nobody was killed. Keon Wright should be getting out of prison pretty soon. And with the ongoing beef of PRE and CMG still brewing, still sizzling in the streets of Memphis, right? Nobody's going to forgive nobody at this point. Dolph's dead. He was ambushed at that cookie shop, Makita's. Big Jook blood was spilled at that repast for his Uncle Eric Govan, right? It's too late now to, call a truce or throw in the white towel, because that towel is blood soaked with all kind of pain and heartache from the streets of Memphis. So stay tuned, OG Jucario TV, as I break down more clips, more talking points from the Hernandez Govan interview that he did with Vlad TV on this whole Young Dolph trial matter, right? So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked to OG Jucario TV for the latest in rap, hip hop, celebrity, and urban news. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey, man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deep in the Buddha, her, you hear me? And guess what? I'm gone.